ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ, ਮੈਂ ਦਵਿੰਦਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਜਸ ਟੀਵੀ। ਨਾਰਥ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਨਿਊਜ਼ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ। ਪਿਛਲੇ ਦਿਨੀ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਸਿੱਖ ਕਲਚਰਲ ਰਿਚਮੰਡ ਹਿਲਸ ਨਿਊਯਾਰਕ ਵਿਖੇ ਸੰਤ ਬਾਬਾ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਮੁਰਾਰੇ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਵਰਸੀ ਮਨਾਈ ਗਈ। ਇੱਥੇ ਉਚੇਚੇ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਅਟਾਰਨੀ ਜਸਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਪਹੁੰਚੇ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਬਕਾ ਗਵਰਨਰ ਐਂਡਰਿਊ ਮਾਰਕ ਕੋਮੋ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਸ਼ਿਰਕਤ ਕੀਤੀ। ਐਂਡਰਿਊ ਮਾਰਕ ਮੇਅਰ ਦੀ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਵੀ ਲੜ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ। ਅਟਾਰਨੀ ਜਸਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਕੀਤਾ। ਇਸ ਦੌਰਾਨ ਸਾਬਕਾ ਗਵਰਨਰ ਐਂਡਰਿਊ ਮਾਰਕ ਕੋਮੋ ਨੇ ਸੰਬੋਧਨ ਵੀ ਕੀਤਾ।
ਹਾਰ ਦਇਆਲਾ ਨਾਨਕ ਕਰਕੇ ਗੋਲੇ ਰਾਖੋ ਰਾਖਨ ਹਾਰ ਦਇਆਲਾ ਨਾਨਕ ਕਰਕੇ ਗੋਲੇ ਤੁਮਰੀ ਸ਼ਰਨ ਤੁਮਾਰੀ ਆਸਾ ਤੁਮਹੀ ਸਜਨ ਸੁਹੇਲੇ ਤੁਮਰੀ ਸ਼ਰਨ ਤੁਮਾਰੀ ਆਸਾ ਤੁਮਹੀ ਸਜਨ ਸੁਹੇਲੇ ਰਾਖੋ ਰਾਖਨ ਹਾਰ ਦਇਆਲਾ ਨਾਨਕ ਕਰਕੇ ਗੋਲੇ ਰਾਖੋ ਰਾਖਨ ਹਾਰ ਦਇਆਲਾ ਨਾਨਕ ਕਰਕੇ ਗੋਲੇ।
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦੀ ਹਾਂ ਆਰਗੇਨਾਈਜ਼ਿੰਗ ਕਮੇਟੀ ਦਾ। ਅੱਜ ਸੰਤ ਬਾਬਾ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦਾ ਦਿਨ ਆ ਤੇ ਐਡਾ ਵੱਡਾ ਈਵੈਂਟ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹਰ ਸਾਲ ਆਰਗੇਨਾਈਜ਼ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰਬੰਧਕ ਕਮੇਟੀ ਦਾ ਤੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਸੱਜਣਾ ਦਾ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਅੱਜ ਇਹ ਹਰੇਕ ਸਾਲ ਦੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਅੱਜ ਸੰਗਤ ਦਾ ਠਾਠਾ ਮਾਰਦਾ ਇਕੱਠ ਆ। ਤੇ ਇਹ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੈਂ ਦੱਸ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਗਵਰਨਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੂੰ ਕਿ ਪਿਛਲੇ 50 ਸਾਲ ਤੋਂ ਉੱਪਰ ਇਸ ਏਰੀਏ ਦਾ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਟਰਾਈ ਸਟੇਟ ਏਰੀਆ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੇਨ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਕਿ ਸਾਰੀ ਸੰਗਤ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਆ ਤੇ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਰਹਿਨੁਮਾਈ ਮਿਲਦੀ ਆ, ਉਹ ਇਹ ਆ। ਗਵਰਨਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੋਵਿਡ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਮਦਦ ਕੀਤੀ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਉਦੋਂ ਟੀਵੀ ਤੇ ਇਸ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਤੋਂ ਵੀ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਲੰਗਰ ਸਰਵ ਹੋਇਆ ਕੋਵਿਡ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਜਾਂ ਸਿੱਖ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਨੇ ਹਰੇਕ ਥਾਂ ਤੇ ਜਿੰਨੀ ਹੈਲਪ ਕੀਤੀ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਲਾਸਾਨੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਦਿਖਾ ਰਹੇ ਸੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ। ਥੱਲੇ ਲੰਗਰ ਹਾਲ ਵੀ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਬਣਿਆ। ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਥੋੜ੍ਹਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਇੰਟਰੋਡਕਸ਼ਨ ਦੇਣੀ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ। ਸੋ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। So first of all, I want to thank the whole committee for organizing this event today. And this Gurudwara Sahib has been a pioneer for the last 50 years, over 50 years for the Sikh community in the entire tri-state area and the East Coast. And many other Gurudwaras have followed this Gurudwara. This is a mother institution. And so we here have our honorable guest. He needs no introduction. He is the former governor of this great state of New York, Andrew Cuomo. He was Attorney General, and then his father was the greatest governor of this state ever had. Very revered and respected leader, and he is now running for mayor. He doesn't have to because he's already been in so many positions, but he is doing for the city. He thinks that the situation here is not good. And things needs to improve, things needs to change. And especially, as you know, I'm an immigration lawyer and I do immigration practice. And for the last almost 25 years, I have offices here in Queens, Hicksville, Richmond Hill, New Jersey, New York, Michigan. And I represent over 11,000 like clients. I have over 18 attorneys working for me, staff. So I see what the problems are now. Like every single city, not only there is enforcement at the border, that is fine, but internally people who have their work permits, who are here legally, are being taken away, they are being questioned, they are being detained, and they are being deported. So this is the situation that we are in now. Since the last week, in immigration courts where people show up for their hearings and their cases are pending, they are being taken away from there, saying that you are in expedite removal and we will take you in detention, you go to jail, and from there you'll fight your case. And in jail, the chances of winning the cases are like almost 10%. So this is happening. And also in the city, we have many problems. There is the administration now has almost collapsed, and we want a leader like his stature to take on all these problems. The opponents, let me tell you, the opponents for the governor, they are like people who don't understand what the problems are, what the understand of the city problems are, or the immigrant problems, or what the Trump administration is doing, and also all the ethnic groups in the city. It may be the Sikhs, Hindus, Jews, Muslims, and they don't understand what their issues are. So Governor Cuomo is the best person to understand that. Zohran is another candidate, as you have heard about him in the news and lot. He is a state assemblyman. He's a socialist. He's a Democrat. But his hatred, the way he speaks against the other people, like especially Hindus, he speaks against the Jews. He speaks against other people. Even Barack Obama, he was the greatest president in the history of America, one of the greatest, and he says Barack Obama was an evil, or he says those kinds of words against him. And so those words are not like appropriate and good. And the country doesn't need a socialist at this time. The country is in the middle. I had the privilege of working in Kamala Harris campaign in the last election, and in Senate campaigns. I've been to many battleground states. I've organized the Sikh community in different states, and the country is not on the socialist agenda. The country is in the middle. And Governor Cuomo is the best person who can unite all the communities. We love Muslims, we love Hindus, we love Jews, we love like Christians, we love everybody, because our religion, the Sikh religion, is a religion open to all. We was telling the governor that when you come here, we feed people here the free food. We don't ask their religion, we don't ask their color, we don't ask their status. Anybody comes, and this like is across every single Gurdwara in the world. So our doors are open to everybody. So this is our religion. We think everybody is a child of one God. There is one God, and all of us, we people are the children. So there is no place of hatred in this society or community, and especially in the Sikh religion. Sikh religion teaches love, compassion, sympathy, and fighting for human rights, others, and fighting for our own rights and others' rights. This has been our history for the last 500 years. So people like Zohran, who speak hatred, they should have no place in the office like mayor here. And the best candidate for this post at this point is Andrew Cuomo, and we are very proud to have him here, and he will be the next mayor of the great city of New York. But before him, I am honored to have our great assemblyman here, Mr. David. He, for the last 15 years, he's a friend of the Sikh community. He has done so much for the community here. You all know him, and I want him to say a few words, and we thank him for his presence here.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. I've been your assemblyman for the last 15 years. Before that, I was in the city council for 8 years, representing a good part of this area, not this particular location. But I know Andrew Cuomo for over 50 years, maybe over 60 years. We don't want to get specific on here, but we grew up together. And I grew up with his family in Holliswood. I was very fortunate to serve with him when he was governor. My proudest accomplishment as an assemblyman, as a legislator, was the religious garb law. And I could not have done that law without Governor Cuomo, who signed the bill, who strongly supported it. And you all know about the religious garb law, which prohibits discrimination in all employment, public and private employment, for wearing religious garb like a turban and having facial hair like a long beard, which is obviously part of the Sikh religion. So he is a doer. He is somebody, that has accomplished so much for our state as governor. I also have had the opportunity to work with Zohran Mamdani. He's really all talk and no action. He has a terrible legislative record. He has very few bills that he's introduced, very few bills that have become law. And as was pointed out before, he speaks hate. He doesn't speak love and supporting everyone.
So now I would like to introduce the former governor of this great state of New York and our future mayor of the city of New York, Honorable Andrew Cuomo.
Me to be here today. It's a special honor. I want to thank Jaspreet Singh for his hospitality and all of you. We have a long relationship going back to my father's time as governor. There is tremendous respect for your tradition and your religion, tremendous appreciation for all you do for the community. Not just your own community, but how you open your arms in the Sefa tradition, in social justice, in spreading charity. It really is a beautiful statement of what we can be when we are at our best. And I'm honored to be with you. It's a pleasure to be back in Queens. Queens is my hometown. I have a Queens accent, and I am proud of it. It's a pleasure to be with Assemblyman David Weber, and I'm glad he didn't tell you how long we go back, because we both look younger than we actually are. But we grew up together. Our fathers were actually colleagues and friends. And then I got to work with David as governor. So it all comes full circle. And it's a special pleasure to be with him. As you heard from Jaspreet, I was not planning to run for mayor. I had done 8 years in Washington. I was in the cabinet of President Bill Clinton. I was the National Housing Secretary for 8 years, worked all across the country. Then I was Attorney General. Then I was governor for 11 years. And I had enough. And I was in the private sector, and I was enjoying life a little bit. I even took a vacation. But I was watching New York City, and I am worried about New York City. We lost 500,000 people in New York City since COVID. Wealthy people, middle-class people, 500,000 people. And I think we're facing three challenges. One is a management crisis. The city is not being managed well. Being mayor is basically a management job, right? You have to manage the city, and it's not being managed. Recently, the city officials reduced the police force, called defund the police. It was a terrible, terrible mistake. And now crime is a problem, chaos is a problem. You see it on the subways. People are afraid to go out once again. They're afraid to be on the subways. I have a daughter who's living in Manhattan, and I make her call me to make sure she got home okay. It's been 30 years since I was afraid of being on the subways. There's no affordable housing. The rents are too high all across the city. The city is dirty. The city is out of control. And that's just a lack of management. The second real challenge we're going to have is this federal government is going to cut funding to New York. They're going to cut Medicaid funding, housing funding, and they're going to put the city under significant financial strain. That is going to happen. The federal budget, the Trump budget, already announces major cuts to New York City. That's going to be a challenge. And the third challenge is what I would call a societal challenge, in that there has been more division among New Yorkers, more anger among New Yorkers. And that is frightening, because New York, we are all immigrants in New York. We are all different in New York. And New York only works when we say that we accept one another and we accept one another's differences. And when we start demonizing immigrants or demonizing migrants or demonizing Latinos or demonizing Haitians or demonizing Jewish people, that is a cancer that spreads. If you can discriminate against anyone, everyone can be discriminated against. Our strength is our diversity, but it can also be a weakness when that diversity becomes a vulnerability. And that's where we are now. I believe President Trump uses the tactic of divide and conquer and turns one against the other. And that is hate, and hate spreads, and we're seeing that more and more. You have felt that discrimination. You have felt that anger. And you now are part of the solution. The 29 bill that Assemblyman Weapon worked so hard to pass says it all. You cannot discriminate by religious garb. Because I wear a turban, because a person has facial hair, you cannot discriminate based on a person's religion. Why? Because that's America. That's the promise we made to one another. And if you can discriminate against Sikhs, well, then you can discriminate against Christians, you can discriminate against Jews, and that's just what is happening to us now. And that has to stop, and it has to stop here in the city of New York. We are the capital of diversity. 180 languages spoken in our school system. 180 different languages, people from all across the world. That makes us stronger, not weaker. And we have to come together and unify. I know we can do it because I brought this state through the greatest crisis we faced was COVID. COVID was a matter of life and death. And New Yorkers were scared. We had COVID first and worst. Nobody knew what it was. And it allowed you to see what people really are made of, how they responded. You responded beautifully. You opened your doors. You fed the community. You provided health care for the community. You responded with love. And New Yorkers across the board came together in a spirit of unity, and they helped one another. And that was New York at its best. And that's what we can do again. We know what we have to do. We have to hire 5,000 more police so the streets are safe. Because if the streets aren't safe, then nothing matters. We have to build affordable housing, which is not hard to build housing. I was the nation's housing secretary. We know how to build housing. We built many more complex things. Go look at the new LaGuardia Airport. We built that, the new Kosciuszko Bridge, the new 2nd Avenue subway, the Cuomo Bridge that goes across the Hudson. We built all of that. If we can build those complicated projects, we can build housing. And we know how to make New York affordable. We have to reduce taxes for working families. It's just too expensive to live in New York. We know how to do all of that. And we know how to come together as a family and how to be united. Because that's what the Sikh community teaches us, and that's what we all believe as New Yorkers. We'll come together, we'll heal, we'll not just rebuild the city, we'll build it back better than ever before, and we will do it together, and it is my honor to be here with you today.